Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Nurse Obi and I am passionate about mental health and addiction recovery. You are so welcome to Thrive Recovery Empowerment Series. Today we are going to be talking about something really close to many of us who care deeply for others: compassion fatigue. Whether you are a nurse, whether you are a caregiver, whether you are a parent, whether you are in ministry, you are in leadership, you have probably felt drained by giving so much of yourself. In this video, we will explore how compassion fatigue affects us psychologically, medically, and spiritually, and how you can reclaim your energy, your joy, and your peace. Psychologically, what is the effect of compassion fatigue? Compassion fatigue is emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged exposure to others' suffering. You may be experiencing irritation. You may be experiencing emotional numbness. Sometimes it could even be sleep deprivation, sleep disturbance. It could be withdrawal of any kind of sort. It could be feeling like you have nothing left to give. Our brain is made up of neurons, and these brain neurons empathize wiring and how constant exposure to pain without boundaries can drain emotional reserves. You may ask, how does it drain emotional reserves? Medically, chronic stress can evaluate cortisol level. It can also weaken immunity. It can cause fatigue, headache, and anxiety. Now, you may want to know what is the connection between burnt out and depression if left unaddressed. Now, research shows that burnt out and depression can cause a serious harm if they are not addressed. Burnt out is a state of chronic physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion, and it is caused by prolonged stress and often work related. It could also be from caring from others. An example of the symptoms you may feel when you are going through burnt out could be fatigue. Your fatigue does not improve with rest. Even after you have rested, you find out that it's not improving. It could be detachment towards someone's job or even a role. You just find out that you don't want to do that job anymore. You don't want to do that particular role to which you have been ordered to do. It could also lead to decreased productivity and motivation. It could lead to emotional numbness or irritation. According to World Health Organization, burnt out is not simply tiredness. It is an occupational phenomenon that results from unmanaged chronic stress. When burnt out is not addressed, it doesn't just go away. Instead, what does it do? It often evolves into depression. So, burnt out can lead to depression. And depression is a mental health issue. It is a condition that affects the mood, the thought, and the behavior. Now, over time, the body and the brain stress response system become dysregulated. The cortisol level stays high, leading to physical exhaustion and anxiety. Now, the neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine becomes imbalanced and increasing risks for depression. If you want to know more about burnt out and depression, check in the previous video. Now, I hear people as nurses, I hear people, even nurses at the job, how they'll tell you they go through depression, how they go through burnt out in that way. I'll give you an example. At my job, I once encountered a nurse who told me how she really went through burnt out, and finally it increased to depression. She said she was so burnt out to the fact that she became depressed. That most times, whenever she's coming to work, there's this anxiety, there's this fear, this numbness, this fear that she doesn't want to come to the job anymore. She was no longer happy coming to job. Sometimes she said when she comes, once it's 6 o'clock, she start being scared, she start panicking. She start beginning to panic, and this led her to depression. It drained her emotionally after caring for people that actually need care. When you are always the one giving, emotionally, spiritually, physically, you start running on an empty cup. You start running empty. If we're reading from the scriptures, we find out that Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 19, after performing great miracles, he fled into the wilderness and said, I have had enough, Lord. He was really fatigued. Even the prophets experienced emotional exhaustion. God's response, rest, food, and gentle reassurance, not condemnation. Also, Jesus in Luke chapter 5, verse 16, it says, but Jesus often withdraws to a lonely place and prays. Sometimes he needs that break. So when you are going through such kind of condition, what do? You need to take a break. Even Jesus was able to practice boundaries and renewal. So how do you reclaim your energy? You reclaim your energy by acknowledging it early. You don't have to spiritualize or suppress exhaustion. Name it so you can get healed. Number 2 ways you can reclaim your energy is by setting emotional boundaries. Let me tell you the truth. You can care deeply without even carrying anything. Practice saying, I can listen, but I can't fix it. Number 3 ways is 1, you need to do what? Self-care. You need to practice self-care as stewardship. You have to remind yourself that I need to get self-care. Caring for yourself honors the body and the mind God gave you. How do you do this? You need to stay hydrated. You need to get a number, you need to get rest. You need to journal and you need to pray. Do some kind of prayer walks. Yeah, sometimes early in the morning, walk around the house while you're praying. Walk around the street while you're praying. You need to seek for therapy. The fourth way you can reclaim is what? You need to have a reconnection ritual. Reconnect to your purpose, why you started caring. Create a gratitude ritual before bed. You have to list one thing that restore your energy that day. Number five ways to which you can reclaim your energy is what? You need to seek community and support. You need to reach out. They said even healers need healing. You need to reach out to faith-based community, local support group, and you need to reach out even to this community, the Tribe Recovery Academy community. One thing I must tell you, compassion fatigue does not mean you are weak. It means you have cared deeply. Remember, even Jesus rested. Healing starts when we stop pouring from an empty cup. Please share your own experience in the comment section. Subscribe to the next episode in this empowerment series. Subscribe, comment, share, and like. Thank you so much for having us today. I will see you in my next one. Thank you.